There are truths about women's inner world so elusive that once you understand them, your relationships transform. These truths are not found in the loud proclamations of culture or the fleeting trends of social media. They dwell in the quiet spaces between words, in the subtle rhythms of connection that many men overlook because they have never been taught to see. This is the dangerous intelligence you must seek, the kind that makes you uncomfortable because it demands you confront what you have ignored about women's real desires. You might think you know what a woman wants. After all, society has fed you endless narratives: romance, passion, independence, mystery. Yet, these are often myths coated in convenience and misinterpretation. The Stoics warned that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. If you carry illusions about women's wishes, you are doomed to suffer in your relationships without cause. The truth lies beneath those illusions and requires a different lens, one sharpened by Stoic clarity. Stoicism teaches you to focus only on what is within your control, to let go of assumptions, and to face facts with a clear mind. This philosophy doesn't soften the hard edges of reality, it reveals them. Applying this to women's unspoken needs means you stop chasing fantasies and begin observing. You learn to listen not just with your ears but with your presence. You understand that many expectations women have are not demands but invitations, invitations to be seen, to be understood, to be met with a presence that transcends words. There is an unspoken contract in relationships that few men recognize. Women often do not want solutions handed to them like trophies. They want presence, the kind of presence that says, "I am here, fully, without trying to fix you." This is where the first secret lies, and it is deceptively simple yet profoundly overlooked. Imagine a moment when a woman shares her frustrations, not because she seeks your advice, but because she needs your steady calm. Stoicism trains you to hold yourself with equanimity, to respond not with impatience or immediate problem-solving but with attentive listening. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you rise to this standard, you offer something far more valuable than answers, you offer understanding. This kind of emotional presence is rare because it demands you check your ego at the door. It requires the dangerous intelligence to resist the urge to jump in with quick fixes or dismissive reassurances. Instead, you embrace the discomfort of being with someone's vulnerability without trying to control it. This is not weakness, it is a profound strength born from discipline and wisdom. The impact of this presence cannot be overstated. Women feel it immediately. They sense when you are genuinely engaged versus when you are merely waiting for your turn to speak. This distinction is a silent language that, once mastered, changes the dynamic of every interaction. It builds trust, not through words but through the energy you bring. Trust is the foundation upon which every meaningful connection is built, and it is forged in these quiet moments of unguarded attention. Yet, this is just the beginning. The unspoken truths women carry are not demands but invitations to deeper connection. They challenge you to grow beyond your habitual responses. To meet these invitations, you must cultivate a mindset that values presence over performance, empathy over expediency. The cultural myths tell you that men must be providers of solutions, the fixers of problems. But the Stoics remind you otherwise. Marcus Aurelius, a paragon of Stoic wisdom, counseled, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." Your role is not to erase the waves of emotion but to stand firm in calm acceptance, offering a refuge, not a rescue. Women's desires for emotional presence are often intertwined with a deeper longing for respect and autonomy, but this first secret lays the groundwork. Without it, nothing else can take root. You cannot build a house on sand. The foundation must be your ability to be present without judgment or haste. Consider how many times you have heard a woman say, "I just needed you to be there." How often have you mistaken that for a call to action, rushing to solve the problem rather than simply standing beside her? This mistake is common, but it is fatal to connection. Because misunderstanding her emotions kills more connections than indifference ever will. This is where the dangerous intelligence begins, to recognize that emotional presence is an active discipline, not a passive state. It is a skill that requires practice, patience, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. You must learn to sit with silence, to hold space for feelings that may seem irrational or inconvenient, and to resist the urge to fix what is not broken. It is here, in the mastery of presence, that many men falter. They confuse action with value, noise with meaning, and speed with progress. But the Stoics teach you to slow down, to observe, and to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. You cannot be fooled, Epictetus said, if you know what is in your control and what is not. Your control lies in your response, your attentiveness, your commitment to understanding before judging. When you rise to this challenge, you embody a rare kind of man, one who listens with the heart and thinks with the mind, who offers sanctuary rather than solutions. This man is not soft, he is strong in a way that society often fails to recognize because strength is not always loud or visible. Sometimes strength is quiet, steady, and unshakable. So, the first secret women wish men understood is this: they crave emotional presence over immediate problem solving. They want you to be a calm harbor in the storm of life's uncertainties, not a frantic captain trying to steer every wave. This presence is an offering of respect, a gesture of love that transcends words and gestures. If you master this, you begin to unlock the deeper mysteries of connection. You start to see that relationships are not contests to be won or problems to be fixed but dances of presence and understanding. You learn to honor the complexity of emotions without fear or judgment. You begin to cultivate the dangerous intelligence that makes some men uncomfortable, not because it is wrong, but because it reflects the depth of what they've overlooked. This understanding marks the first step toward a relationship grounded in Stoic wisdom. It is a step away from the noise of misconceptions and toward the quiet power of genuine connection. It is a call to rise above the distractions of ego and habit and to meet women where they are, not where you wish them to be. To begin this journey, ask yourself, can you be still enough to listen without rushing to fix? Can you hold space for vulnerability without retreating into discomfort? Can you embody the Stoic ideal of calm presence amid emotional storms? If the answer is yes, you have taken the first step toward mastering the dangerous intelligence that builds true intimacy. Remember, when you rise, you not only elevate yourself but the entire relationship. The path is not easy. It demands courage, humility, and relentless practice. But the reward is profound, a bond forged in respect, understanding, and the unshakable foundation of presence. This is the truth many women silently wish men understood, and it is the truth you cannot afford to ignore. Because when you rise to meet this secret, you change the course of your relationships forever.